The story of nuclear power in the United States is one of ambition, innovation, controversy, and transformation, stretching across more than 7 decades and shaping not only the country's energy landscape but also its geopolitical and environmental strategies. And to understand its true scale, one must begin with the simple fact that the United States today operates the world's largest nuclear power fleet, consisting of 94 commercial reactors with a combined net capacity of roughly 97 gigawatts, producing approximately 779 terawatt-hours of electricity annually, which equals nearly 1/5 of the nation's total electricity supply and over half of its carbon-free energy, making nuclear a vital backbone in America's quest for reliable, clean, and large-scale energy generation. And this achievement did not come overnight but rather through decades of research, investment, and political will, beginning in the 1940s and 1950s when nuclear technology, initially developed for military purposes, was gradually adapted to civilian energy use under the Atoms for Peace initiative, leading to the construction of the first demonstration plants such as Shippingport in Pennsylvania in 1957, which became the nation's first full-scale commercial nuclear power station, and from there the industry expanded rapidly, particularly during the 1960s and 1970s when dozens of reactors were commissioned in response to growing electricity demand and the desire for energy independence during the oil crises, with states across the Midwest, South, and East Coast becoming home to large nuclear facilities that remain operational today. Yet the trajectory of nuclear power in America was not without setbacks, as accidents like the 1979 Three Mile Island partial meltdown shook public confidence, while construction costs soared and regulatory processes became increasingly complex, slowing the industry's momentum and resulting in a long hiatus of new plant development throughout the 1980s and 1990s, though during this period existing plants continued to operate at improving efficiency levels, achieving capacity factors above 90% that proved the reliability and stability of nuclear generation compared to intermittent renewable sources or fossil fuels subject to market volatility. By the 2000s, the narrative around nuclear energy began to shift again, as growing awareness of climate change and the need for low-carbon baseload power revived interest in nuclear technology, leading to efforts to extend the lifespans of existing reactors, many of which were originally licensed for 40 years but have since received extensions to 60 and even 80 years, as well as renewed attempts to construct new units, most notably at Georgia's plant Vogtle, which after years of delays and cost overruns successfully brought units 3 and 4 online in 2023 and 2024 respectively, making it the largest nuclear plant in the country with a total capacity of around 4.5 gigawatts and a symbol of both the challenges and possibilities of large-scale nuclear construction in the modern era. Alongside Vogtle, other plants such as Arizona's Palo Verde, which with 3 reactors and nearly 4 gigawatts of capacity is the single most productive plant in the country, producing around 32 million megawatt-hours annually, and California's Diablo Canyon, the state's last remaining nuclear facility that provides about 8.6% of California's electricity and nearly a quarter of its carbon-free supply, highlight the regional importance of nuclear energy in meeting state-level climate and energy goals, while facilities like Watts Bar in Tennessee and Oconee in South Carolina demonstrate how reactors built in the 1970s and 1980s continued to provide steady power well into the 21st century thanks to license renewals and modern upgrades. Yet nuclear in America today is not only about the present fleet but also about the future, and in this respect there are 2 parallel tracks unfolding. The first involves maintaining and even reviving existing plants, with notable examples including the potential restart of the Palisades plant in Michigan, which if successful would mark the first time a decommissioned U.S. reactor has been brought back into service, supported by Department of Energy loan guarantees, and the planned reopening of 3 Mile Island's Unit 1 by 2027 or 2028 thanks to new financial arrangements and demand from large-scale corporate buyers like Microsoft seeking reliable clean power for AI data centers, while the second track focuses on innovation through the development of advanced reactors and small modular reactors (SMRs), which promise greater flexibility, lower upfront costs, enhanced safety, and potential deployment in locations ranging from remote industrial sites to military bases and large technology campuses, with startups like Allo Atomics, backed by $100 million in funding, working on compact Allo pods, designed to power data centers as early as 2026, and major companies like Equinix signing agreements to source over 1 gigawatt of advanced nuclear capacity for its operations, underscoring the growing link between nuclear energy and the digital economy. This wave of nuclear innovation is supported by federal initiatives such as the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, which provides production tax credits and other incentives for both existing reactors and new builds, and by executive directives in 2025 aimed at quadrupling national nuclear capacity to 400 gigawatts by 2050, an ambitious target that reflects not only climate goals but also the practical reality of rising electricity demand driven by electrification of transport and industry, population growth, and especially the exponential energy needs of artificial intelligence and data processing infrastructure, which require stable, 24/7 power that intermittent sources like solar and wind cannot fully guarantee without massive storage solutions. At the same time, nuclear energy in the U.S. faces enduring challenges, particularly high capital costs, long construction timelines, and regulatory hurdles that slow deployment and discourage private investment, as well as public skepticism rooted in memories of past accidents and concerns over radioactive waste management, which remains a politically contentious issue given the lack of a permanent federal repository after decades of debate over Yucca Mountain. Though interim storage solutions and advances in recycling and reprocessing technologies may offer pathways forward, nonetheless, the broader picture is one of cautious optimism, as nuclear has proven its value as a highly reliable, carbon-free power source that complements renewables, stabilizes the grid, and contributes to national security by reducing dependence on imported fossil fuels, while also positioning the U.S. as a leader in global nuclear technology markets, exporting expertise, fuel services, and reactor designs to allied nations. Moreover, nuclear energy in America is not confined to electricity production alone but extends into medical isotopes, naval propulsion for submarines and aircraft carriers, and potential applications in hydrogen production and district heating, further diversifying its role in the energy system of the future. And if current momentum can be sustained through effective policy, technological breakthroughs, and sustained investment, the United States may indeed witness a nuclear renaissance in the coming decades, transforming its fleet from one dominated by aging large reactors built in the 20th century to a hybrid system of life-extended giants, cutting-edge SMRs, and advanced designs like molten salt or fast reactors, all working together to meet the immense energy demands of a 21st-century economy while simultaneously addressing the urgent challenge of climate change. In conclusion, America's nuclear power sector stands at a crossroads between legacy and innovation, burdened by past challenges yet energized by new opportunities, and as the nation seeks to balance environmental responsibility, economic growth, and energy security, nuclear will almost certainly remain an indispensable part of the mix, continuing to generate not just electricity but also debates, hopes, and visions for what the future of energy should look like in the world's largest economy.